Alright, this is Eric with Just Yacking. I'm not doing it on Facebook Live because I get distracted way too easily. And I look down and everything, and it helps me be more better this week. Anyways, I just uploaded the outline page for this series I'm going to start doing on. Well, I'm going to post it to Facebook, but I think I'm going to upload it on my YouTube and try to get my YouTube page with more subscribers, more views, and then just going to Facebook Live, which I don't mind either one, but I'm just trying to get to other outlets, you know what I mean? Anyways, so the day before Veterans Day, I went with a buddy of mine to Georgia's Majestic Lounge in Fayetteville, Arkansas, down on Dixon, to watch Hayes Carll and Jack Ingram do a song swap the day before Veterans Day. I'd seen Hayes Carll's about 5, 6, 7 years before. I'd never seen Jack Ingram. They both were great. Of course, the song swap with it's just artists, their acoustic guitars, and they'll sing a song, write it, or tell stories, funny stories, how they come up with a song, or, just funny stories to get the crowds going. And I really enjoyed myself. I mean, because I think the last really song swap that I went to that wasn't local, not that I don't like that, but, was Cody Canada, Chris Knight, and Charlie Robinson. And it was a real stormy night up in Fayetteville. There's tornado warnings out and everything, it scared me shitless. But anyways, but Hayes Carll's got a new album coming out in February, I think 15th. Check it out on his Facebook page, his website, Twitter, Instagram, which I need to get Twitter and Instagram. I don't have any of those things yet. I'm not that technologically advanced, so like Facebook I'm used to, so I'll stick with it. I never could figure out Twitter or Instagram, but I need to. But anyways, but he played a couple songs off the upcoming record, which is Nunya, which is None Your Business, which is, I think, the actual first track and the title track. And then he played a new song called Jesus and Elvis, which the story goes, what he told the audience that night at George's was that he was playing, I can't remember where the gig or the bar, wherever it was, but he said he went there, and the place was all lit up in Christmas lights, and he goes, this was like the middle of August. He goes, I got to talking to the owner, he goes, but what's the deal with the Christmas lights being up in the middle of August, or whatever time it was. It wasn't Christmas time anyways. But, and she said, well, she had a husband or a relative or somebody in Vietnam War years ago. That's how long the place had been there. And she said, I'll turn the Christmas lights back off. Was it off? When you get back from home, which the soldier never made it home. He died in war, so that's why the Christmas lights are on. And then he ended up writing a song called Jesus and Elvis about it, which I can't wait to hear the actual recorded version, which kind of, they don't suck, but what the bad part with me is once I hear something acoustic, I really don't want to hear the full band version. Not that that's not good or nothing. I just like acoustic songs and, the stories that go with it. But they both told funny stories and, of how they come up with songs and this and that. But apparently, Hayes has got a new woman in his life right now. He's dating Allison Moore, which I think was, used to be married to Steve Earle. But she came out and sang a song off his last album which was mostly acoustic, it was real subtle. It was different from the other stuff he'd done, like K-Mag Yo-Yo and Trouble in Mind and his other stuff. But she came out and sang a song with him at the very end. And Jack Ingram, he was really funny too. He talked about how when he I don't know if he wrote or when he was had Wherever You Are on the radio. He was talking about how when he was in Dallas, he heard it go from he was listening to the top 40 countdown or something, and it slowly kept easing up to the top spot. But he goes, I'll never make it a top spot because I'm just a Texas artist. And then I think he was in Dallas going over a overpass or something, and the radio came on and says, and at the top spot is Jack Ingram's Wherever You Are, which I'm sure he was really excited for that. I mean, that's cool to have a number one album or number one song on the top, top 40, whatever, especially number one. But he also told some funny stories that got me into more Jack Ingram, which I really wasn't into. I knew a little bit about Jack Ingram, but not a lot. Because when I discovered Jack Ingram, it was more when he kind of went mainstream for a while, and like with Love You, and then there for a while before I seen him, he's a very damn good songwriter. Especially like his older stuff reminds me like a little bit of James Taylor, early James Taylor, because I wouldn't consider him country like Charlie Robinson or Jason, but he's more folk singer-songwriter, Texas singer-songwriter, kind of like Towns Van Zandt or, James Taylor or somebody like that, But anyways, and I had a good time coming back from that and got a hat there, sold out of Hayes Carl's hats, which really sucked because I really wanted one. But I got a Jack Ingram hat, and then I got a Hayes Carl koozie. And then if anybody knows how, some kind of way I got 1,000 koozies in my drawer at my house. And I'm wanting to do something with them because they're all from bands. Some of them are signed, some of them are not. But I took my guitar up there, hoping to get some, but they didn't, which I understand. They're busy, But anyways, and then about a week later, I went and seen David Lee Murphy. Well, actually, that was last week, and I went and seen Josh Hubbard at Brandon's Pub and Grill in Fort Smith. They've got new owners, and check it out. It is great food. I had a I had a bacon cheeseburger with a fried egg on top, and it was really good. It wasn't too greasy. Sometimes you get hamburgers that are really greasy, but this wasn't greasy at all. And Josh Hubbard, J.T. Hubbard played there. So I think there's another band playing there Wednesday night. I never heard of them. I'm going to check them out if I'm not doing anything for the holidays. But anyways, back to David Lee Murphy. David Lee Murphy, if you don't know who he is, he recorded 4 albums like in the mid-90s. He only had one number one, I think, that I can remember, and it was Might Be a Little Dust on the Bottle. But he also came out with The Road You Leave Behind, Party Crowd, and then I think his first actual, not single, but his first actual recording on a major debut, or not debut, but on an album was for the 8-second soundtrack that was the Lane Frost film that starred Luke Perry, and he had a number one or a song on that went pretty well. But yeah, he had 4 albums that came out. 2 of them did pretty good, and then I guess as his time changed, his brand of neo-traditional traditional country, you know, they didn't want that on the radio, I guess. So, you know, and then, like, I think the last album he came out with was in 2004. And the last one I remember him coming out was Loco, a song called Loco. And then I was reading on his, up on him, and he is actually from Illinois, but he resides in Franklin, Tennessee, which is right outside of Nashville. But he is more of a songwriter now. Well, he come out with Population, a new album. I can't remember what the title of it is, but him and Kenny Chesney just won an award for Everything's Gonna Be Alright, which Kenny Chesney and him have the song on the radio right now, and it blew up the radio stations, you know. And but he's wrote many songs and had many of them cut by big artists, from Jake Owen to Jason Aldean to Chris Ledoux to just many different. Some of the big ones that Kenny Chesney, that he recorded or has had cut is Jason Aldean's Big Green Tractor. Kenny Chesney, Everything's Gonna Be Alright with him. Thompson Square's Are You Gonna Kiss Me or Not? And a bunch of other ones. I mean, just slews of songs that you just wouldn't realize it was him and not. You know, what was funny is when he was on stage last weekend, he goes, a lot of people come up to me after a song or a show that I do if I'm out in the crowd, and he says, well, how come you're doing Jason Aldean songs or Kenny Chesney songs? He's like, well, because I wrote them. You know, he don't really record most of them, but he's wrote them, you know. But he's real fun. If you ever get the chance to see David Lee Murphy, do it. He is awesome. He has a steel guitar and fiddler. You know, that just is neo-traditional country music, you know, with a little bit of rock infusion in it. But he does a lot of his songs from the time that he recorded, and then he does a lot of songs that big artists have recorded, but he does it his way, you know. Also, I'm trying to think the last song I'm working on a new song that has to deal with a woman at a bar, and I can't remember how. I hadn't, because I've been focusing more on doing the reviews and other stuff. And I've got Jonathan Tedford newest one when he played last time at Stockyards, Jason Eady when he played at La Hortas, Emmylou Harris when I went up to see her at the Brady Theater. So if you hadn't seen them, check it out, give it a like, share it, do whatever you want to do. And just, you know, spread the word, you know, with me writing reviews and stuff. I'm wanting to start getting some newer bands. Not that I love doing shows for the people I've seen, but I just want to get new people out there that I hadn't seen, you know, especially local people, you know. So anyways, but I've got like 10 unfinished songs that are in different processes of being born, or, you know, just an idea for, or whatever process or whatever level they're on, you know, anything from, you know, Americana folk to straight up honky tonk to whatever, you know. I really don't have I kind of have a artist in mind when I write them. Some of them I do. Some of them I don't until I get the song wrote, you know. You know, a lot of the songs, like, I could see being recorded by Pat Green or Ned Ledoux now, or Chris Ledoux. I just wrote one recently called Her or the Rodeo, and I got it up on Facebook. But it's about this guy that's out on the road doing the rodeo thing, but he's got a girlfriend back at home, and she calls him up and says, hey, pretty much is you either choose the rodeo or me, and he goes through this whole stage of going through the rodeo, where he ends up dumping her altogether for the rodeo, and then coming to find out later on at the end of the song that he ends up losing the whole thing, so he lost the rodeo and her. But, like I said, I'm trying to find newer things to write about, because a lot of the times I write about leaving or drinking, and it's just like, I'm trying to find different. One of these days, I'd love to write like an abstract song, that the listener or the reader, because I don't put any music to my lyrics or anything, to really just figure out what it means to them. It really don't mean nothing in particular, and I'm working on another song. It's kind of, I based it off, not based it off Chris Knott songs, but it's got that feel of, you try like hell, but you just can't get nowhere. But thank God, God's got your back. Kind of a song. I don't know what it's called. I just got a little bit of ideas here and there for it. And I think I'm gonna switch up my days when I write on like reviews and then stories, because I hadn't wrote on my or novel One Last Dance with the Devil or any of my short stories. And I'm writing, I've got a few ideas for novels or short stories that I've wrote down, and it may not be nothing, but it may become a novel or short story, I don't know, but I just got little bits and pieces here and there. I want to start a series, or I've started the very, very first stages of an outline for a homicide detective that's just fresh out of the academy, that's kind of in the Fort Smith, Fayetteville area, or Fort Smith area, River Valley, It's called, the main title is called Spencer Wade. But I'm still getting all the aspects together, this and that, but like I said, that's what I'm working on right now. And another thing before I get off here, right now I'm reading Steve Harvey's Jump. If you like inspirational books, get it. It is very good. I'm about the third chapter in, because when I, like someone like Steve Harvey, I really influenced by he's a comedian, but when it's time to be serious, he gets you motivated to do stuff. And that's kind of where it all started for me with that Jump video that got put up on YouTube, where we were just talking to the audience, and then it went nationwide. But in the second or third chapter, I can't remember which one it is, he talks about finding humor in everything. If you look hard enough, there is humor in everything you do. Even when I'm putting this on YouTube, but even when I was in the mental hospital trying to figure out why God put me on this earth to do whatever, what I was meant to do, which is right for artists. I know that, and I'm still working on that. There was even humor in the hospital. I mean, I'll tell you, this is probably not good for kids. So and I'm going to put this on Facebook, so don't let the kids read this, or not read this, but, do not let the kids listen to this. But the first time I went to the mental hospital, which I'm going to write about in my memoir too, there was a girl, and I was still messed up on, that sleeping medicine. I can't remember what it's called. It's some sleep medicine that makes you have suicidal thoughts, which that's why I was in there to begin with. But anyways, and every day we had a meeting. We had to tell what our goals was for that day, whether it was getting out or eating something, or whatever the goal was. Very small goals to big goals. But anyways, the story I want to tell you, like it was dirty, but it just shows you how, like I said, you can find humor anywhere. Because I'm sitting about there, all I want is die or kill myself, because that's what the medicine does. that I was on. I wish I could remember what that stupid medicine was. But, but anyways, we're sitting there, and I'm off in this dope days or whatever, infused days of whatever you want to call it. And we're sitting around the table, and at that time, I really wasn't talkative to anybody except for unless I absolutely knew you. And, but we were gathering around at the community table on the psych ward or whatever it's called, and, but anyways, and this new girl had come in, which I know she'd come in that day or that night or whatever, and someone looks at her and she's like, "Why are you in here?" She's like, "Well," I'm like, okay, this is gonna be, in the back of my mind, it's like, something's really weird is about to happen. But she goes, "Well, me and my husband, were drinking and we got in a verbal fight. I guess the cops were called. And the cops show up and they said, 'What's going on?' And I guess they couldn't figure out who started what or whatever, what was going on at the time while the neighbors called. But she's like, and she said something to the effect of, she's like, 'Well, ma'am, are you drunk?' She was drunk or something like that. And the woman goes, 'Well, I've got a turtle shoved up my pussy and a rabbit shoved up my ass and they're trying to play Pokemon or something like that.'" And I'm just like, really? I mean, just like, yes, it's not very good for the kids and stuff. But I mean, in that little sense, I mean, I was like, that woman just did not say what she said. And I wish I could remember exactly how she said it. But it was something about them, she had a turtle up her ass and a rabbit up her pussy, and they're trying to play, figure out who's playing Pokemon or something like that. But I mean, like, I was laughing so hard, not out loud because I didn't know if that was allowed or not, because the way I am is, I abide by all the rules and stuff. But I was laughing so hard, and especially a few days after I got off the medicine and started feeling better. I mean, it's like, that was one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life. But anyways, back to more serious stuff besides that. But anyways, Steve Harvey talks about being homeless, and he goes finding humor in everything there is, like I was talking about, and it got me thinking, when I went and seen Emilio Harris, I hate technology, like booking hotels or anything on the internet. I do not like it. I'd rather call the person up going, "Hey, I want this hotel room for this day. How much is the price? Blah, 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 blah." But no, nowadays you have to do everything online like this. And, well, apparently there's more than 2 hotel rooms that I stay, or hotel places where I stayed at in Tulsa. Well, I booked one room because I thought I was going to see another band the day after I saw Emilio Harris. So I booked like 2 hotel rooms at the same place but different facilities. They were the same hotel chain but 2 different addresses. I'm like, so I called before I go to Tulsa. Never would have driven to Tulsa by myself. Thank God the Lord was there, because that was a trip. I do not like driving places I've never been. But anyways, I said, "This is Eric Stone. I got a reservation at so-and-so. Is this a place?" Yeah. It's right in the middle of downtown Tulsa. I was like, okay. So I get there, and a front court had come in that night, and it got cold. But so I go up to the 3rd level, got my guitar. I take a guitar, trying to get it signed by all the people I see. And I finally make it to the hotel room. And she's like, "Yeah, your name's Eric. We got you checked in, whatever this and that, Well, I go and ask the person at the hotel, I said, "How far is the Brady Theater?" And it wasn't that far from where I was. I was like, well, okay. Well, I went there, I wanted to take my guitar. I was like, well, the only thing they can say is, no, you can't bring your guitar in. So I bring my guitar in, and I asked one of the security guards I had, "Hey, I'm a music writer. I was wanting to see if I could get this done by Emily Harris. Here's any way you let me in. Nope, can't bring it in. Nope. I was like, well, I wasn't mad because, I mean, people, I know how, a lot of people do weird, or psychos and, shoot up stuff and this and that, and I understand they got their rules. I wasn't mad. So I walked all the way back to my hotel room, come back and sat down. Great theater. Great concert. If you ever had the chance to go to the Brady Theater in downtown Tulsa, go. Some of the people musician friends that I know said there's not a bad seat in the house. Even the balcony sounds great. So hopefully if I get to see John Mellencamp there come March, I'm going to try to get a balcony seat and hopefully see John Mellencamp. But anyways, so I get back from that vacation or mini vacation and come to find out that I had booked 2 different hotels on the same different days, but forgot to cancel one of them. So I stayed at the same place, or stayed at, I'm thinking, you know what I mean? I stayed at one place that I actually wasn't even supposed to instead of the other one. So I booked twice and ended up paying a little bit extra money. I was like, well, you could get pissed, but you know what? Go on. Just laugh about it. Go on. It was funny to me. I'm like, who does that? Me. I do that, Well, then, about a few weeks later, all this stuff minor things that had been happening in my life that just wasn't, good. You didn't think were good. Like I got sideswiped where I live. And it was a car I have had for about 2 years, and then about a couple weeks later, I was going up to watch a few bands in downtown Fort Smith. I accidentally rear-ended because I was so ready to get there, because I'm pumped up when I go see shows. I just didn't say, hey, God, let me just try this car, don't let me get in a hurry. You end up rearing into somebody. And then, like, a couple weeks later, I ran into a deer, messed my stuff up, But, it's like all good, whatever, and so now I'm in a rental car right now waiting for my car to get fixed. But, the funny thing was I was driving home the other night. This will all make sense here in a minute. But I was driving home and I went from the David Lee Murphy concert at the Piccolo Casino, the Choctaw Casino in Piccolo at Gillies. And it was like 1:45 in the morning, and I'm a night person. I got my music up, I'm singing to David Lee Murphy, and or whoever was on my phone at the time. And I come in through Greenwood, and I didn't know how to get off the interstate from the casino back to Greenwood, so I put it in my phone. But when I got to Greenwood, I just turned it off. I guess I swerved a little bit and got pulled over. And I was like, man, I didn't know what I was doing. So anyway, I pull in. It's like 1:45 in the morning. It's 40 degrees outside. It's cold. Not cold, but I mean cold. And like, I don't wear jackets in my car because I just get too hot. So, good-looking woman comes up, officer. She's like, "What are you doing tonight? Or what have you been doing tonight? You been drinking?" I said, "No, ma'am, I don't drink. Because I don't. I drink very little, and if I drive, I do not drink at all. I just don't see it worth. I've seen too many people die from it. It's just not worth it. That and going to jail for it, all that stuff." But anyways, she's like, "Well, I think," she was like, you were speeding a little bit and you swerved a couple times. I gotta make sure you're not drunk." I was okay. I wasn't mad or nothing. I was like, they're just doing their job. They're on the job like everybody else. They're normal people just like everybody else. So anyways, so she asked what I'd been doing. I said, well, I went up to see David Lee Murphy, and I said I got a guitar in the back, I said, I got signed by him because I get it. And she's like, I was like, I'll show it to you if you want to look at it. I said, I'm not lying. She's like, well, I can't let you back in your car because right now I got to see if you're drunk or whatever. Well, I walk with a limp, so it's kind of hard to do the field sobriety test. Well, she did this one, and I failed it miserably. She's like, are you sure you're not drinking? You're not lying to me? I said, no, ma'am. I don't drink. I said, I had not been drinking. Well, she's like, well, I just gotta make sure because you failed that. And so she's like, well, can you sit on your leg? I said, well, I got a limp. So it wouldn't be any good. I said, but I will take a breathalyzer test, which I've had before. Not that I drink and drove, but I'll tell you that story here in a minute. But anyways, so she's like, well, by the time she don't have the breathalyzer, and about the time whoever has it is on another call. So I'm sitting there waiting out there in the cold, 40-degree cold weather. And we're just chatting about music and this and that and blah, blah, blah. You know, when the cop finally pulls up, he's like, how many beers have you had? I said, none, sir. I said, I don't drink. He was, well, we'll see about that. Sure enough, blew in it. Didn't. I was like, but it made for a fun night, different, but treat the police like normal with dignity and manners and say yes, sir, no, sir. Because, I mean, they're everyday people like us. But and who knows where any of those, I got to meet late David Lee Murphy. He signed my guitar. I got a picture with him. You never know where that might lead one day. So keep on dreaming and everything else and keep on trucking. God bless.